Hey friends, it's Jennifer. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm back today with card 8. If you want to see how I made these cards, I will link that in the description box above. But today I'm going to use some purple paint, some distressed oxide, a purple heart, and I've got some mosaic tiles left over from another project. And these are blue purpley. And the theme for this month is obviously colors that are purple, pink, Valentine's colors. And I went back to the prompts and I drew out a stencil and a napkin, which is what I have here. The prompts are things that I just made up, different items. I put them on a piece of paper and folded them all up and threw them in a mason jar, and I draw out 2 every week. And so I'm going to start first with this purple paint, and I'm just going to give it a quick coat on the side of the cereal box that is printed, and I'm going to dry this with my heat gun. And you can see after one coat, it covers pretty good. I'm showing you this because you can make anything really out of packaging. There's ways to cover it up. And so I'm just going to give it just a light second coat with the paint that I have left on my paintbrush, just to go over top of it again and hit it again with my heat gun. You don't have to dry it with a heat gun. I just do it because I'm very impatient. It will dry on its own and it will give the same look. And so here is the second coat, and that's all I'm going to give it for today because it's covered pretty good. So I'm going to use the first item, which is a napkin that I pulled out of the prompts. And you can see only on the front side of this napkin does it have the gold foil on it, on that front side. So I'm just going to use that, and I'm going to peel off the second layer of the napkin. And I'm just scrunching this up in my hands just to give it a wrinkly effect. Um, it doesn't really matter. It's going to look wrinkled anyway. I just do it anyway, just because I'm used to it. And so you can just see me tearing off the edges on the napkin before I lay it down there. And now I'm just going to take regular glue. This is school glue, obviously, but I like to water down my glue quite a bit in any of my projects, especially when I'm working with napkin or just, getting elements down on something, because I don't need all of that thick glue. It takes longer to dry, and I just really need it to lay down there, get it laid down, the things I want on there. So my glue is a little bit watered down. I just add some water to the bottle and shake it up. And so you can see I've added the napkin and trimmed off the excess. And I'm going to dry that with my heat gun. And now the next element I'm going to use is the stencil. And at first I thought I just might press the oxide ink onto the stencil, but I don't think that it will show up because of the purple color. So I'm just going to use some modeling paste here. Just going on here, and I'm just running it through the stencil just to get some of that modeling paste on there. You can see. Now I'm just taking the Distressed Oxide ink and I'm just going over the top of the modeling paste with it after it's dried. And I'm going to take water just from I have a cup of water with my paintbrush in there, and I'm just going to take some of that water with my paintbrush and just um, drip it onto the Distressed Oxide ink, because when you use water it will run. So you can see me doing that here with my heat gun, just getting it to run into all those cracks. And so now I'm going to take these mosaic stones that I had left over, and I've just sort of laid them out here because I'm ready to put them on there. But first I'm going to ink my heart. I'm putting a heart on all of my projects this year to remind me to love myself, others, and my work better this year. And so I'm just taking some glue and my finger and just smearing it around on there, and I'm going to lay my heart down. Now I'm going to work with these mosaic stones, but I'm realizing that they are heavier than what they're heavier than what I think the glue will hold. So I'm just taking some hot glue now. Instead, I already had my hot glue gun there, and I'm just giving them a little hot glue on the back just to hold them because they are heavier. Because as I said earlier, my glue is not, it's more of a watery glue just to hold things down, and I need something to really hold these down. Not that they're terrifically heavy, but they are heavy in comparison to the other things. So I'm just using my hot glue gun just to get those mosaic tile pieces onto the card. I'm just using my paintbrush to smudge out any of that other glue that I had on there. And now I'm going to take my crocodile punch and I'm just going to round out the corners. And I pulled out this word, love this, and a tag that I had done with some, this is a vinyl lace tablecloth piece from a big tablecloth I'd had. And um, I've also pulled out a piece of pink paper that I'm going to stamp the number of the card on it with, and I'm using this tulip red VersaFine ink, and I'm just going to stamp the number on there. The love this word phrase I made myself on a printer and stamped around it with a stamp, and I will link that video in the description box above if you want to see how I made those. And so now I'm just trying to place where I want it, if I like it with the tag or not. In the end, I felt like it was too busy. So I just went with the letter, the phrase, the word phrase. I just inked around it, and the number, and the vinyl lace tablecloth piece. And I'm just going to glue those down. And so now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew around the edges. And I'm just going to trim those threads there. And I'm going to ink around the entire card. And I should say, if you're putting anything on your card that is heavier or bulkier, be mindful of that when you put it on your card, because if you're going to sew around it with your sewing machine, your needle needs to be able to get around those edges. That's why I put the mosaic tiles in the middle. But here it is, card number 8. I love this. And I hope that it inspired you to make your own set of playing cards using packaging from your house. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.